The princess who became a hacker.
Princess Aria had grown up in a kingdom unlike any other. The spires of her palace gleamed with neon lights, and holographic projections danced across the sky every night, celebrating the kingdom's technological wonders. Visitors marveled at the beauty of the city, but few ever noticed what was truly extraordinary about Aria. To most people, she was just a young princess, poised, elegant, and seemingly destined for nothing more than ceremonial duties. They expected her to attend galas, smile for portraits, and practice curtsies, never imagining that she was quietly becoming the kingdom's greatest secret weapon.
From a young age, Aria had been fascinated by the glowing screens and blinking circuits that filled the palace's tech labs. While her royal tutors taught her history, etiquette, and diplomacy, she snuck away to the back of the library where rows of computers hummed softly in the shadows. She devoured every book on coding, cryptography, and digital networks she could find. She watched tutorials, experimented with hacking simulations, and even built tiny robots that scuttled across the polished marble floors of the palace in secret. By the time she was 15, Aria had become exceptionally skilled. She could crack complex codes, navigate encrypted networks, and analyze cyber threats faster than anyone in the kingdom. Her parents, the king and queen, were unaware of her activities. They believed she was perfecting her royal skills, practicing diplomacy, and preparing for the duties of the crown. The royal advisors often warned them that Aria was too young and too focused on trivialities to handle anything of real consequence. But Aria knew differently. One night, while the city slept, she intercepted a strange message hidden deep within the kingdom's communication networks. It was an encrypted signal from unknown sources, containing plans to disrupt the city's power grid and steal sensitive data from the royal archives. Aria's heart raced. This was the kind of challenge she had been preparing for all her life. She didn't hesitate. She slipped into her secret lab beneath the palace, turned on her custom-built computers, and began analyzing the attack patterns. As she worked, Aria recalled the countless nights she had spent learning, practicing, and failing. She remembered the first time she had tried to crack a secure system and accidentally triggered a security alert. Her hands had trembled as palace guards almost discovered her, but she learned from every mistake. Each failure had made her smarter, more careful, and more determined. Now, with the kingdom under threat, all her secret efforts would be put to the ultimate test. The next day, rumors of the cyber attack reached the royal council. Panic spread quickly. Systems that controlled the city's lights, water, and transportation began to fail. The council members argued among themselves, blaming each other and fearing the unknown perpetrators. The king called for every available expert in the kingdom, hoping that someone could neutralize the threat. Perhaps the princess should stay out of this, one advisor suggested cautiously, as if simply mentioning her involvement could be dangerous. Aria, listening discreetly from a hidden corner of the council room, felt a surge of determination. She knew that no one else could solve this problem as quickly or as intelligently as she could. She smiled quietly, imagining the look on everyone's faces when the person they underestimated would be the one to save them. That evening, while the palace lights flickered and the city trembled under the unseen attack, Aria got to work. She traced the signal to a hidden server located in the mountains outside the kingdom. Each line of code she wrote brought her closer to understanding the villains' methods. Hours passed as she decoded their messages, rerouted systems, and countered their attacks. She worked tirelessly, never stopping to eat or rest, fueled only by adrenaline and the knowledge that the kingdom's safety rested in her hands. Meanwhile, the villains, An organized group of cybercriminals with advanced technology were unaware that a young princess was outsmarting them at every turn. They had assumed the kingdom's defenses would crumble under their attack, never suspecting that someone had been quietly mastering the art of digital warfare from within the palace walls. By midnight, Aria had located the mastermind behind the operation, a former engineer from her own kingdom who had turned against the royal family. His motives were unclear, but his skills were formidable. Aria realized she would need more than just speed and intelligence. She would need creativity and courage. She launched a series of complex countermeasures, creating false trails and setting traps within the network. Each move forced the villains to react, revealing more about their plan and giving Aria the advantage she needed. Hours felt like minutes as Aria worked. The palace around her was quiet, the only sounds coming from the hum of her machines and the rapid tapping of her fingers on the keyboard. She was so focused that she barely noticed when the city's lights began to stabilize, when the water systems resumed normal flow, and when the transportation networks hummed back to life. The kingdom was slowly returning to normal, and the villains had no idea who was behind it.
Finally, as dawn approached, Aria executed the final step of her plan. She remotely locked the villains out of the network, exposed their identities, and alerted the kingdom's security forces to their location. Within minutes, the perpetrators were captured, and the kingdom was safe once more. Aria leaned back in her chair, exhausted but triumphant, knowing that her secret had remained safe until the right moment. When the royal council discovered what had happened, they were stunned. The king and queen listened in disbelief as Aria explained everything: how she had intercepted the attack, tracked the villains, and neutralized the threat. For the first time, the entire kingdom saw her not just as a princess, but as a hero. "Aria," the king said, his voice filled with pride, "you have shown us that courage, intelligence, and determination are as important as any sword or army. You have protected this kingdom in a way none of us could have imagined." Aria smiled, feeling a sense of fulfillment she had never experienced before. She realized that being royal was not about appearances or tradition. It was about responsibility, creativity, and the courage to act when it mattered most. From that day forward, Princess Aria became known throughout the kingdom not just for her beauty or grace, but for her brilliance and bravery. Young girls and boys across the land looked up to her as a symbol of intelligence and empowerment, inspired to pursue their own passions, no matter how unconventional they might seem. And whenever the city faced new challenges, cyber threats, technological crises, or otherwise, people knew that their greatest protector was not a knight or a warrior, but the princess who had become a hacker. The crown she wore was more than a symbol of royalty. It was a symbol of wisdom, courage, and the limitless power of a determined mind. In the end, the lesson was clear. The crown doesn't make her royal. Her brains do.